Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of ADD, Attention Deficit Discourse. I'm Ray.
I'm Kevin. This is episode number 11, Unsay.
Yeah. Okay. I was telling Kevin that I wanted to give a quick update about my sister because I saw her this weekend. Her and her boyfriend were over, and we were talking about that weed story I told y'all about, I think episode 6, where I was saying that
When you give a
she.
brief recap,
Yes, I'll
very
give
brief.
a little sneaky peeky. If you're not keeping up with us, that's totally fine. But I think episode 6 is one of our best episodes. And that episode, I talked about how my stupid little sister, I love her so, 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 so much, but she ate. So this is part of the update. I never knew what the amount of milligrams she had consumed was, but she had a homemade brownie that her and her friends bought, and were planning to come up to San Francisco. So this was when I first moved to the Bay Area in 2021. Her and her friends were planning to do a little trip. I told them that they could come over and like stay in my apartment because I hadn't been living there yet. I had just been moving furniture over from SoCal. And I think something happened with her friend's car or something like that. So they canceled their trip, but they had bought that edible to eat while they were in San Francisco exploring the city. And since the trip got canceled, weeks had gone by and their weed brownie had expired and started growing mushrooms on it or fungus or whatever, it was moldy. And so then they peeled off the pieces that looked moldy and ate the rest of it and got really, really sick. And so she told us recently when we were talking about this story because her boyfriend had never heard the story. She had consumed 250 milligrams. Now, if you're not really knowledgeable about how much that is, that's a shit ton, a metric shit ton. Because normally people will have like 20 milligrams and they're pretty high. And then some people, if they have a really high tolerance, will have like 60. But like you having more than 100 is unheard of. That's just insane. I had a friend who I think I might have mentioned last time said that she ate 600 and she was just like not even on this plane of existence.
She was
But then
comatose.
she said she, for like 24 hours, was just like asleep, woke up, asleep, woke up.
Oh
Like she was
no.
just horrible existence. But nobody's ever died from weed. So I guess people aren't really scared to push the boundaries. But my sister had 250 milligrams. Her and her friends were at the beach that day. She said she ate it and then she was just like feeling horrible. And then, threw up at the beach.
Oh,
And when they got home, she said that's what she was feeling really bad. And my brother's a frat bro. And he was like, "Oh, you're feeling sick. Let me make you the shake." And he made her a shake. And then she was like, "I don't want the shake." And he was like, "No, drink it. You'll feel better." Gave her the shake. She drank the shake, threw up in the kitchen, tried
same
to
color
run.
with poop, right?
It was,
A
I
chocolate
think it
shake.
was like a, no, I don't think it was a chocolate shake. I think she said he gave her a shake that had like electrolytes and stuff in it because
Okay,
she
okay.
convinced everyone that she had heat exhaustion when
Yeah.
really she's
Or
a
food
secret,
poisoning, right?
secret
With
little
the scraping of
stoner.
the mold. Uh-huh.
No, no, no. Well, she had, it was probably the combination of the mold and 250 milligrams. But yeah, she had thrown up at my house and then tried to run to the restroom, slipped, fell down, kept throwing up. And then my brother, I guess, I forgot about this part, had taken a roll of paper towels as he was yelling at her, "Aim for the sink, bitch," because he had to now clean up her throw up. And like took a roll of paper towels and made like a red carpet for her to walk to crawl her way to the restroom. But I forgot about that part too, that he had made her a little red carpet of paper towel for her to go to the
A white
restroom.
carpet.
But at that point, it was like too late, it was done. And then I said that I knew something bad had happened because me and Andrew got home. So at that point, we were commuting from San Diego to my house, which was like an hour 15 drive. And we got home and my brother was mopping. And Mexican
Oh, so
household,
your
the
bro
men.
did clean it up after
Yeah, but
her.
men don't like, oh, it's so annoying. But like in Mexican households, not in my household, okay? Andrew's mopping, but not right now because I'm the stay-at-home. But yeah, like that doesn't happen. I'd never seen my brother mop, so I was like, something bad happened here. Something real bad happened. And I was like, "You're mopping? What happened?" And he was like, "Ask her, points to her room. I go to her room. She's laying on the floor, and I'm like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "I got heat exhaustion." And I was like, "Do you need like some Gator Light or anything?" So we got her Gator Light, which is like Gatorade and Pedialyte. Had a baby. And
Oh,
then
wait, that's an actual thing or you made it?
no, it's a thing.
Oh, okay.
It's my favorite thing to drink during
Never
summer
heard of
because
that.
it's great. It's great. It keeps you very hydrated.
So who
So we
owns
gave her
that?
that.
Gatorade or Pedialyte?
I think Gatorade because it has more of a Gatorade look to it.
Okay, okay, okay.
And then, yeah, and then years later, when I was like, all right, I want you to be honest with me because she was going to college. Maybe it wasn't
Uh-huh.
years later, but it was definitely later.
Hold up, this is really odd then. So years later, you just want to bring up the story again that it was clearly still dwelling in the back of your mind. That
No,
doesn't
no, no,
make
no,
any
no, no.
sense.
I just asked her. Okay, so no, it wasn't
Unless she was
years
going
later.
away and you gave her like a platter of homemade brownies or something, then you
No, no,
remembered
no.
about
Okay,
it.
I this is what happened. Before she left for college, because my parents are really weird, right? Like they don't have the talks with you about anything. They just kind of they're just like weird about anything that's like adulty. I don't know. My parents are just awkward. So they never gave us like birds and the bees kind of talk. It was just like I don't know.
Birds
My
and
mom
bees? I don't know what that is.
when I
I'm
was
joking. I'm
actually when
joking.
I was going for college, my mom had just come back from a trip. This is a random side tangent. This is how I got the birds and bees talk, and it was horrible.
And you're about to go to college.
I was about to go to college,
Oh
and my mom
man.
and my dad had gone on a trip to Bermuda, and they came
Uh-huh.
back, and my mom's showing me pictures, right?
Uh-huh.
And my mom, she's like this tiny little woman. She has like a very high pitched, not like very high pitched, but she has like a very soft, higher voice, you know? And so my mom is showing me her pictures of Bermuda. Her and my dad had just gone back from their trip from Bermuda, and she's showing me the pictures, and then she just goes, Ray. And her voice gets like deep. And I'm like, and she's like, boys are gonna try to get in your pants. I was like, Mom, stop, stop, stop. And then she's like, I just need to tell you. And I was like, Mom, I'm literally 17 years old. Like
You
we're good.
know,
We don't need to talk about this. And she's like starting to try to give me a talk, and I'm just like, Mom, stop, stop, stop. It's fine. I know. I don't dream of being pregnant ever. Like, don't worry. And I was just like freaked out. So then no one ever gave that talk to my little sister though, because she has like such a little baby face. You know, you think she's like so innocent. And I knew. I knew she
really?
wasn't innocent.
How do you know your
I
mom
knew.
never gave her to talk? Maybe
Because
she did, but you didn't know.
my parents really genuinely believed that I was like the bad kid. They would always, my sister got a piercing. My brother took me and my sister to get piercings because we wanted that for like our
Uh-huh.
birthday or Christmas or something.
Okay.
So he takes us, and it's not like, you know, we got like a I don't know, like a piercing that is very noticeable. It's just like on our ear.
It's
And we
just on
got
your ear and
home.
on your eyebrow.
No, nothing on the eyebrow yet, nothing on the lip, you know, nothing crazy yet. And we get home. My brother had taken us, and my mom sees my sister's piercing and is like, to me, what did you do to her? Why did you do this? Da, 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 da. And I'm like, what the hell? And I was like, he literally took us. Also, I'm
Oh,
17.
you casting your bro under the
I was
bus when he was
17. I was
driving.
trying to understand how she thinks I was able to sign off. But you know what? I will say there was a mini mall that I got pierced at when I was 16. And I lied and said I was 18, and it was a sketchy little place, so they didn't even check my ID or anything. They would just took my word for it that I was 18, and that was when I was 16. That was my first piercing ever on my ear. But yeah, she was like, she would blame me for anything my little sister did. She would think like I was the bad influence. And I'm like, my little sister bought a needle off of a girl at school and pierced her septum and kept it hidden from my
Oh
parents.
no. Isn't that
I know.
painful? How can you
Yeah,
do that?
they're crazy. Those kids are crazy. So you gotta watch out. Your kids are gonna pierce you when you're sleeping.
No, no way. That's crazy. That's
But yeah.
painful.
Anyway, so then I told my sister because I knew. I knew her generation, even though she's my generation. I knew she was crazy. So I was like, I need to talk with her, make sure, you know, she knows not to do drugs, you know, just be careful, be safe. And also, I didn't want her to feel bad, like coming to me with any questions she had. So I just talked with her directly, like, you ever done weed? And then that's when she said yes, but she didn't tell us that crazy weed story until I think like 2 Thanksgivings ago. But anyways, those were the two updates I wanted to give. 250 milligrams, that's how much she had taken. And then, oh yeah, her little paper towel thing.
White
She's
carpet.
crazy. Her white carpet. Yeah, that was it. And then I wanted Kevin to give an update on his story because last time we had been talking
You
about
mean Andrew?
alcohol. No, you.
Oh, okay, me.
No, you.
Okay,
I
yeah, yeah,
wanted
yeah,
you
yeah.
to get. He's zoned out. Do you see this? Y'all see this right here? Some
Okay,
of
yeah,
you
we can
audio
continue
listeners,
that.
Kevin has not blinked for the last 5 minutes. He has been staring off in another world. And I wanted
Back
him
on
to talk
planet Earth right
about,
now.
yeah, get back here. I wanted him to
Okay,
talk
crazy
about how
stories.
he has a story with Bacardi 151, which
Okay, that's true. I do. And it's a wild story, all
tell
right?
your story.
Because, all right, so Bacardi 151 is this alcoholic drink that's banned. I think they banned it in the early 2000s, so most of you younger generation have no clue what it even looks like. But you can Google it. You'll see what it looks like. And it looks really crazy because it's 151 proof. So that means it's 75.5% alcohol. And it's so flammable that when you open up the bottle, on the top of the bottle is this fixed metal seal. It kind of looks like a like a colander, little holes in it, a metal seal with little holes in it, so that if the whole bottle ever catches on fire, it won't easily spread, and it'll be less likely to be spilled. So yeah, so if you're watching the video, you can see the flame arrestor right there. Ray is holding it up. That's 151. So Bacardi 151 is super nasty, and me and my buddies, we bought a bottle, and I think we only took a shot. This was in college. We were playing poker or something like that with a group of friends, and then we just kept it in the cabinet for the longest time, and we totally forgot about it. And then one night, me and a group of my friends and my cousin came over from Sacramento down to San Diego, and we were one of my friends was hosting a party at his apartment, and it was going to be a crazy party because we were going to DJ over there. And any party that we DJ at, it's always people are always going to come over. They can hear the music, and it's like Toucan Sam with the Fruity Loops. People just follow their ears and they come over and then text their friends, and then it's overcrowded. People start partying outside, and so yeah, before the party started, we were gonna pregame. And so me and my buddies, me and my other DJ friends, we set up already. We set up on a party, and we were at this other apartment nearby, and we were gonna have some drinks. And Her Highness at the time was over there too, and we weren't together yet. So she was just hanging out with us because she was an aspiring DJ. And so she pulls out this handle of 151, and all of us were like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! That's some crazy stuff." And we're all on an empty stomach too. We haven't even eaten dinner yet. And she was swirling the bottle around, and she started pouring us shots, not for herself, for everyone else. Like there's 5 or 6 of us, and we all took a shot, and everyone was like, "Okay, we're done. That's it." And she was swirling the bottle and said, "Oh, but there's just a third of it left. We got to finish it." And she tried to pour everyone else a shot. Everyone else took a second shot and said,
Why
"Okay,
wasn't she
this is
taking
really
shots?
strong." She didn't drink. She says that she had the Asian glow and she didn't want to look too red or anything like that. You know how a lot of Asians have the Asian glow when they drink, their face turns red. So that
Isn't
was her
that
excuse.
allergies to
No, that's
alcohol?
actually a defect in like alcohol dehydrogenase. Like you can't metabolize alcohol or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah, so then you get this reddish look on your face. So that was her excuse. So she didn't even end up drinking at all. And so I think we took like 2 or 3 shots, right? And everyone was getting a little leery about taking more shots because they know that taking 3 shots of 151 is probably. I mean, what's the proofage of vodka on average?
40? Wait, no, 80?
80?
I think about.
Really?
I'm pretty sure because
Let
usually
me
it's like
look it up.
40%. The alcohol percentage is 40.
Is it? Okay. So if it's okay, it's 80 proof.
Yeah.
So that means that every shot of 151 is the equivalent of taking 2 shots of vodka, right? So I don't know. I don't like the taste of vodka or tequila or any kind of liquor, really. All nasty. And 151 is 2 times nastier. And me and my cousin ends up finishing up the bottle because Her Highness wanted to keep pouring it off, finish up the bottle. And I don't even think we finished the bottle. There might have been another inch or centimeter left at the very bottom. So I think my cousin took 6 or 7 shots of 151, and I think I took like 5 shots of 151, which would be the equivalent to 10 shots of vodka, right? In one go. This is within 5 minutes, under 5 minutes. That's a
Did you
lot of
guys eat that
alcohol.
day too before you started
No,
taking
nothing.
shots?
Empty stomach, totally empty stomach. Haven't
How did you
eaten
not
since
burn a hole through your
noon.
stomach? Could you feel the
I don't
fire
know.
in your tummy?
I You can totally feel the fire all through your internal body.
Oh my God. Y'all were probably crazy flammable.
Yeah, yeah.
You burp and it's like a
Blew up.
dragon breathing out
Little
fire.
magic show going on. Hey, check this out. And needless to say, even after, so we drank all of those shots so quickly that I didn't even feel buzzed yet. That's how quick we were taking the shots. And then we start going over to the party. And like I said, the party was as normal, always wild, and we had these giant speakers and everything. I'm talking about speakers that's like 4 feet high and like it's like a 4 foot cube. It's our subwoofer, and we had like two of them, and people would always be sitting on it, literally sitting on it. Like 5, 6 people would be sitting on it, drinking their beer or whatever. This party is going crazy, and then I'm starting to notice that I'm probably too incapacitated to start DJing. So I tell my other buddies to
Wait, so were
fill
you
in.
DJing at that point?
I
You were
was trying
DJing?
to, but then I was like, oh no, I'm just way too, I can't even see straight. I
No
can't
one
even
liked your
stand up
mix.
anymore. And then meanwhile, my cousin was getting hammered and he couldn't even stand up anymore. He was just laying down, literally laying down on like the stairs or something like that. And yeah, so much of that night became a blur to me. I just remember my cousin was at one point holding my leg and he was like kind of screaming out, no, 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 I don't want to let go, Kevin. I don't want to let go. And I was like kind of laughing and my other friends trying to pull him apart from me. And I just thought that, oh man, he's totally wasted. He
You
is
didn't throw
totally
up or
wasted.
anything though?
No, never that whole
Do you
night, never
remember
threw up.
having a bad hangover or anything?
I'll get to that. I'll get to that. And
Oh,
for
okay, my
sure,
bad,
it's
my
going to
bad.
come up. It's going to come up. But that whole night, it was just like I just felt really out of it. And my friend took me out to this park bench away, maybe to kind of calm me down because at the same time, my cousin's heart stopped. He passed out, and everyone knew something was really wrong because he was no longer responding. Like, you know, when the dude just drops down and he wouldn't even wake up anymore and they're like slapping the face and everything, and he just wouldn't open the eyes and they tried to open up the eyes, it's unresponsive. And so they pack him into the car. This is my friend Peter and Her Highness. Both pack him in Peter's car. Peter said he's way too drunk to drive. So Her Highness drove and she drove over and they just went to the ER and the hospital was really close by. It was only like, I don't know, 3 miles away. And they bring him into the ER area. They drag him out, and two of the ER or three of the ER staff come running out. And they asked them what's going on, and they said that he's just unresponsive. And they take a pulse right there, and they notice that there's no pulse. And they said yelled out some kind of code or whatever, and a whole bunch of people come out and they
Code
grab him, they
blue.
bring him in. Yeah, code blue. I don't even know the code colors. I
Code
don't even know what's the
blue.
worst. Blue's the worst. I thought code red would be the
Code
worst one,
red
but
is fire.
okay, that makes
I'm
sense.
serious, yeah.
Okay. Uh, so yeah, so Code Blue, and they bring him in, and that when he came back, they had no IDP. They can't go in there. They're not related to him. They just dropped him off and just drove back to the party. And
What?
when he told
They
me,
didn't
yeah,
even wait with him?
they can't go in. They can't go in,
Yeah,
or I
but
mean,
you should still wait and make sure that they're okay. They were like, no, we don't care. We don't know him. We're going to
no,
party.
no, they dropped him off, but they wouldn't allow them to go in because
So then
I
they
don't
went
know,
back
they're
to the
not
party to
related.
keep partying.
No, they didn't. They weren't partying. They just came back and
Oh, okay.
were just like sitting around and stuff. I mean, the
Okay,
party was
okay.
still going, but yeah, they and then I was really bummed out because at that point I didn't even know if my cousin was alive or not. So I was tripping out, and so that's why my friend took me to the park bench and he was like trying to calm me down. And I just remember being super like freaking out, bummed out. Because especially, I mean, when Her Highness and Peter told me, yeah, your cousin's heart stopped, dude, I don't even know if he's all right. Like I start thinking about a lot of things, like, oh, is it gonna be okay? Is there gonna be like more long term ramifications and other problems and stuff like that? This is my cousin from Sacramento, so I know I'm gonna hear some heat from my aunts and uncles, right, and my own mom and stuff about hearing a cousin coming down to visit his other cousin in college and he gets wasted at a party, like, oh,
Oh,
that's not gonna be a good look on me, right? And but I'm just more worried about his well-being at that point. So anyways, fast forward, cops come over, break up the party as always. You know, neighbors complaining about the music, the noise. Party ends, we all go home, and this is how I first stayed over at Her Highness's place because I couldn't drive home, and I guess she just wanted to take care of me. She wanted to mac on me. So I guess if anything
I'm
good
saying,
happened out of
for
this
anyone who hasn't
151,
seen our other videos, I just want to throw out there, macking to Kevin is not what we think macking is. We think macking is like making out. He thinks macking is like hitting on. So just so you know,
yeah.
it's not like he was crazy drunk and she was like, "Oh, yup." Just gonna
That'd be pretty funny.
throw that
But
out there because this story can sound
yeah,
different than it
because I'm
was.
an elder millennial, all right, and we use that word
I
differently
Are you a
back then.
millennial? Wait, are you a
Yeah,
millennial?
I'm elder
What?
millennial for
What?
sure.
No way.
Technically, I'm born on the boundary between Gen X and millennial,
Oh,
1981,
okay.
1981, right? So they like to categorize that like stretch of 5 years, I think between 1979 to 1983 as
1980
zillennial.
is millennial.
Yeah, but there's a new category called zillennial, merging Gen X and millennials. I'm
I
a
thought you
zillennial.
were Gen X.
No, I'm a millennial. One of the oldest millennials. For sure.
Dang.
For sure. I'm not a Gen X. You kidding me?
Okay, sorry. My bad. That's only 1 year, first of all. It's only 1 year difference. You're acting like I aged you 10 years.
Disrespectful, right?
Disrespect.
But
Uh,
so anyways, yeah, she had me over at her apartment and I just crashed on her couch. The next morning is up and I just remember her treating me so well. She gave me a toothbrush, like prepackaged. Like, you know what? I don't even know who stores toothbrushes in their apartment. That's like
I
extra
do.
spare. You do?
Yeah, they give them to you for free at the dentist.
Oh, okay. I don't know. She had one of those. She made me a
You
cup
know
of
what?
tea.
It's
She
because
gave
we're
me a giant
women.
black bag
Women
of
are always prepared. They keep extras.
oh, she was prepared to mac on me. I think that's what's
Okay,
going on.
it
That's
sounds bad every
so
time
I
you
was
say.
thinking in the back of my mind, oh man, she has planned this. She was the one pouring the
Oh, so were
151
you
so she
creeped
can get
out?
me to
Were you
say,
creeped
no, I
out?
wasn't creeped out because I was like, ooh, I think she macking on me. So I'm kind of getting a little excited, right? But I was
Wait, what
super
else did she give
hungover.
you that made you feel like she prepared besides the
A cup
toothbrush?
of tea, a
Okay,
toothbrush with toothpaste so I can brush my nasty vomit mouth,
what
and
else?
black trash bag so I can vomit, yak it
Okay,
out.
you made it sound like she set up a five-star resort for you in her
That
apartment.
was a five-star resort for me for being hungover. Yeah, a cup of tea, toothbrush, and a black garbage bag for
So
sure. I was just
how was the hangover?
super bad. Yeah, as
Worst
bad as you
hangover of
can
your life?
imagine.
Oh,
Like, think of your worst hangover and probably multiply that by 10. I was
I
just
honestly,
vomiting. Like,
my hangovers have
so,
only ever been migraines. I've never
oh yeah, okay,
vomited.
so you put in vomiting and it's just nasty vomit because I didn't eat anything too, so I'm just vomiting bile with liquor. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure what I vomited out is still probably 100 proof. Like you can still get drunk off. Do you know how like
ew.
dogs vomit and they eat their own vomit?
Ew,
So
Kevin,
I
why do
could
you
drink my
always
own
do
vomit and get
this?
drunk
Ew,
again. Like, is that
stop.
right? Is that
I'm so
possible?
sorry, listeners.
Yeah, but you gotta think about that stuff like I do. So, anyways, yeah, that's how the morning transpired, and I was feeling a little better after I don't know a couple few hours. And the first thing I think I was still so hungover that I still wasn't well enough to drive.
You're probably still
I asked
drunk, honestly.
probably, so I asked Her Highness, let's go to the hospital. I got to check up on my cousin, and we go over to the hospital, and we see. I just asked, "Where's my cousin?" And we get to go into the room, and my cousin's laying on the bed, and he's okay. He's awake. So I was super relieved. And they had tubes all over him and stuff like that. And the doctor over there said, "Oh yeah, your cousin's okay. His heart stopped. We resuscitated him. We had to do a stomach pump." And it's so crazy because the doctor saying this all shill. And he said, "Yes, nothing unusual. I've seen this many times. This is fine. He's gonna be totally fine. There's no worries about long-term consequences. Yeah, he's totally fine. I've seen this happen all the time over here on this college campus. Nothing unusual." And then he just walked out. And I was like so relieved. I was like, dang, this doctor is crazy. Seen so much stuff. And but before he left, he also gave me like a clear plastic bag, and it was my cousin's clothing and his keys and his wallet. And because apparently when they had to do whatever operation they had to do on him,
They cut off his
they
clothes.
they just got rid of his clothing, I guess. And I just remember that I think it was Her Highness. She grabbed the stuff and she was like, "Okay, yeah, we'll hold on to it." But I guess she looked into his wallet for whatever reason, and he had like $2,000 of $100 bills in his wallet. And she was like, "Why the hell do you have this much cash?"
Oh my
I thought that was kind of
gosh.
funny. So yeah, my cousin was like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right. Yeah, pick me up in like end of the day or whatever. I can't remember." So he was fine, and yeah, that was a whole crazy drunken part. So kids, you drinking out there, make sure you look after your buddies. Their hearts may stop at any
Make sure
moment.
they're sleeping on their side too. That way
And
they throw up,
yeah,
they don't choke on it, you know?
that's true too.
Also,
I
don't
was
just
sleeping
just
on the
don't
side on my
just be
couch.
patient too. I think, well, not in your case. Your story is different, but in most cases, I feel like people get impatient because they don't feel drunk yet, so they just
That's
keep
true.
taking shots. Like the people
Take
that
your
I know
time.
who have gotten really, really, really drunk, it's because they were impatient and they like were
Yeah.
taking shots like super fast, rapid
Space
speed,
it out.
and then it
And most
smacks them.
importantly, don't ever drink on an empty stomach.
Oh yeah,
That
no, don't do that.
100% will get you buzzed
Just take it
really, really
slow. Have a good
quicker.
time, you know, just hang out. And
Yeah, so
Uber, Uber, always Uber.
that's why oh no, we didn't have Uber back then, but that's why I was
Always
a little
walk.
bummed out. Yeah, we could have had
Walk
a
the
good
30
time right
miles.
there.
Y'all could have gotten
But
your
you know why I
steppies in for the
blamed
whole
it? I
week.
blamed it on Her Highness. She was the one pouring out that crazy whole bottle, man.
But she didn't force them
Crazy.
down your throat. You can't blame her.
She did. She did force it down. When you pour the shots like that, you can't just walk away from a
Yes, you
poured
can.
shot glass. Like, what's
So
gonna happen? It's gonna go
one
to
time,
waste. Think
no,
about all of those African children wasting all that food and liquor. We can't
no,
waste
no,
food
no.
like that.
Listen,
No
all right.
way.
One time at my friend's birthday party, I just really processed what you said. African children with shots, Kevin,
That,
shots of
I mean,
alcohol,
it's some
Bacardi
calories.
151.
Calories.
Absolutely
I tell
not.
my kid all the time when they're scraping their food of broccoli
Imagine
and
all the
rice and
little
chicken.
white kids in
Imagine all the
America.
emaciated children that
In
would love
America.
to eat that. Yeah, in America. Well, no, we
No,
have
people
no
always say
emaciated children.
Africa, and it's so dumb because we have starving children here
I've
in
never seen
America.
emaciated kids in America. Never,
That's
ever.
because you're
No.
rich. That's
I
because
only
you're
see
rich,
kids who are
Kevin.
shivering because they've got their smartphone taken away from them and they haven't gone on TikTok in the last 30 minutes and they're starting to suffer from withdrawal symptoms. I've only seen that, but never emaciated kids. You kidding me? In the US?
Emaciated
No.
in
They don't exist.
the Americas, I'll say.
In the Americas, okay, maybe.
The
Yeah.
Americas. One time we were at my friend's birthday party and we drank this alcohol called Pink Whitney. Disgusting.
That's the actual name or that's a drink?
Pink Whitney. No, that's the name of the liquor. I think it's vodka, is it? It's
With
so
red food
gross.
coloring?
No. Pink Whitney.
Okay, are you
It's
gonna
a
go into your hangover?
pink lemonade flavored vodka. It's 30% or 60 proof, which
Uh-huh.
I is not a lot, but it tastes like rubbing alcohol and it's disgusting. And when we were taking shots, it was like me and my friends, and then Andrew, of course, was there with me. And we were taking shots. We took a shot. It was so gross that the second time they poured up the shots, I took a little sip. I pretended to drink the whole thing when everybody's, bent back
Wait, how can you pretend to drink the whole thing? You
because
just let
everybody
it
has their
dribble
head.
down your
No,
cheeks?
everybody has their head tilted back. So I just took a
Uh-huh.
tiny sip and then I put the cup down because no one's gonna look at my cup, see if I drink it. But
Uh-huh.
apparently, what Andrew did is when everybody was, taking their shot, he threw it behind him.
He threw it behind him, like
Yeah.
onto some little kid's face. That no, I'm kidding.
No, it was just our friends. So everybody was already 21 at this point. But yeah, it was at my friend's house too. So it's not like anyone was there. He wasn't just throwing shots on random people walking by. But yeah,
Throwing it
and
on
he's
their
done
bed and
that.
the
I
couch. Like
think
that's
that wasn't even
disrespectful.
it wasn't even his no, we were outside. It wasn't even his
Oh,
first
okay.
time doing that. Usually our parties are outside actually. I'd never been to an inside party until I went to college.
Never?
Because our
Okay.
houses are not big. So
Hmm.
in Paris, we usually just have the parties outside. But
Hmm.
yeah, that was not his first time doing that, throwing the shot behind him. So
When you
you
guys
can
were
keep
in middle
blaming
school.
Her Highness
Mhm.
for you drinking your shot, but there's ways.
No,
There's
no, we
ways
were
to get around
indoors.
it.
We were clearly indoors
You
in
can take
her
a little sip
apartment.
and then put it down, or you can be like, "Oh no, I
You know how
spilled it."
embarrassing that would be to be taking a sip and then putting
Stuff
it down
is
when you're
only
surrounded by all these other
embarrassing.
dudes who like totally killed the shots. You can't be doing that.
Yeah,
No
and then
way.
no, 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 you can do that.
No, you can't do that. That's
Children
breaking the
listening,
honor
don't
code.
listen to Kevin. He's one of those peer pressurers. I'm here to
You would
tell you
be
that you can do
exiled.
whatever you want.
No, you could do
Nothing's
whatever you
embarrassing unless
want
you think
without
it's
friends.
embarrassing.
Without friends,
No, it's
alone,
fine. He also
solitary.
there's this thing that Mexicans do in November. It's called Rosca de Reyes. It's like a cake that has little babies hidden in it. And if you get a piece of the cake, why are you laughing?
Wait, what are the babies? Little like
It's like a
baby
little
figurines
plastic.
or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
actual babies. Oh my gosh.
Like a little, do you mean actual babies?
Little
Yes,
babies.
actual human babies. Delicious meat.
Right next
No,
to the Planned Parenthood clinic. I mean, it's
it's like a
very
little,
graphic.
I think it's plastic, and that concerns me because you
Okay.
definitely shouldn't bake
Yeah,
that.
right?
But you know
But
what? It's all
you could put
fun.
anything in it, but a baby, you
It's our
could put like
games.
walnuts in it,
It's
or I
baby
don't know, right?
Jesus. It's baby Jesus. On top of it, there's dried fruits. But it's a little cake basically.
Okay.
And if you get
And
the
the goal is to get
baby,
the baby, Jesus.
no, people don't want the baby because if you get the baby,
Oh,
you have to make food for everyone. So usually people will make tamales for everyone.
but how many
And
babies are in the cake?
it depends. Some places I think will do one, and then there's other ones where if you get like a really big one for like a party, they'll have like a cup,
Uh-huh.
like at least four or five. little babies in there. But when Andrew was younger, he was like a teenager, he got the little baby and he just kept it in his cheek. And then everybody's like, "Oh, who got a baby?
Oh,
Who got a
and
baby?"
this,
And everybody's like,
uh-huh.
"Oh, I got one, da da da." And he just kept it in his cheek until no one was looking and he spit the little baby out. So,
Man,
again,
he's
you can do
he's
whatever you
very
want, y'all.
crafty.
You
He's
can do
very crafty. What the heck? Wouldn't a way around it just not just
just
say I
swallow
don't
the
want cake?
baby.
No, just say I don't want cake. I don't like cake. I'm
No,
not gonna eat the
I mean,
cake.
people like the cake. It's good. It's like a sweet bread, a little sweet
Or I
bread.
would ask for a slice of cake that is thinner than the baby so that
No,
I
you
can
have
see
to
it.
cut a
I don't want
normal
that slice.
size.
No way. I see the baby's head right there. No way. I'm not
Oh
gonna eat
yeah,
that.
that's the thing. If you bite it, if you slice into it and you're cutting into the baby, you still technically got the baby, so you have to.
Oh,
Yeah.
but then you can say, oh, technically, I'm getting this plate for Ray, so she's got the baby.
The person who's getting the slice for themselves has to cut the cake themselves. Each person has to cut their
Okay,
own slice. That way, if there
got
is
their
a
own cake.
baby, your
You
knife
can't,
touch the baby. Pew.
you can't be like, oh, I'm cutting it for that dude in a
Nope.
wheelchair, the paraplegic. Okay, so we're
Okay.
discriminating against the
Okay.
paraplegics, and they're not gonna
Kevin
get
is
any
on
cake,
one today. Oh my God.
and
Of course you can, Kevin. Oh my goodness.
no, according to you and the rules, we can't. So
No. I mean, I don't think anyone's gonna force the person who's paraplegic and possibly
you had
gets
to
the
make more
baby
food.
Jesus, yeah, to go and do a bunch of work. That's just evil.
I'm just trying to better understand Mexican culture right here because I don't know the rules
Mexican
because
people
how would
are
that
very hospitable, very kind, and they
sure
would
about that.
never. Kevin is a racist. Everyone cancel him. Anyways, yeah, those are the things I wanted to catch up on that story because you were supposed to tell it last time, and then you said no, no one
So
ever
yeah,
gets to hear it.
that was the only time I ever got super hungover. Um I've got hungover another time where I've drunk a there was a one party we went to. We were a lot older. Our kids were like, I don't know, 5 and 6 and 8. And we went to this one Christmas party, and all of the dudes, super sexist party, all of the dudes were given a whole bottle of red wine, and you had to drink it. You had to carry it around, just
Why?
like I don't know, it was a thing. I
Once
didn't even
again,
know it was a thing.
everyone, you
Like
never have to do
I
anything
was
you don't want to
there
do.
at the party, and all the dudes were just given the whole bottle, and I could have just been, you know what I
That's
should have done? I could
expensive.
have just been sipping on that bottle and just left it somewhere, but.
Yes, that's what
I
I
think
told you to do with the shot too, but you
they
said it was
thought about it,
embarrassing.
but they wrote everyone's names on the bottle. So I guess
Dude,
for multiple
get
purposes.
some
So you don't
alcohol and
mix
wipe it off.
or stand next to the sink and just pour it down the sink. Yeah, I could have
Yeah,
done
or
that, but
drop it on
that's
accident.
I don't
Oh
know. I don't know
no,
if I
I
can think
dropped
of.
my
I
wine.
can't. I don't have the conscience to do that. I don't scrape away my rice and
Don't your
broccoli and chicken
kids?
into the compost. I
No,
think
I'm
about
not
those
saying.
kids
Okay,
in
that's
Africa. I
healthy.
can't
Stop
waste.
it.
I
Stop
can't. I
saying the
just
kids in
no. I
Africa
just can't
thing. This is
waste.
strike
I
10.
can't waste.
Tired of it. No, you don't
I'm thinking
have
about
to
the
waste.
emaciated children. There are no emaciated children with their
Audio
rib
listeners,
cages
I'm
sticking
rolling
out.
my eyes. No,
Yeah,
you don't have to like stuff that's food, obviously you could save it, but you don't have to drink a whole bottle of
that's
alcohol.
true. I could have just corked it and brought
Don't
it
your
home.
kids listen to this podcast? Hello,
No,
children.
I
I'm
don't
talking
think
directly to you right
so.
now. You never
They
have to do
know.
anything you don't want to do.
They
You can
they think
save your
it's
little broccoli and stuff for tomorrow. You don't have to eat it all right now. You can save your
don't
bottle of
waste it.
wine. Drink your bottle of wine over the span of a week if you want to. Don't ever let your frat bro father pressure you.
So even after downing that whole bottle, I didn't vomit that night or the next morning, but I did have like it felt like a headache, migraine the next morning. Actually lasted like the whole day the next day. So I never had a bad hangover ever since the 151 incident. So yeah. How about
I've never had a bad hangover, I don't think ever. I
never?
just had one where Andrew and I got out of bed, took blankets, went to the couch, and we were just on the couch all day, just kind of there, like exhausted, no energy. But I thought I was gonna get a hangover one time. My worst time ever getting drunk. I think maybe I told the story already. I don't remember. But we went to a party Disney themed party because my roommate was a frat sorority girl. And so she always knew where the parties were because UCSD doesn't have like a frat row. So you can't just go and walk around and like go to parties. You have to know people who
You
know
gotta
where
have
these
word of
parties are
mouth.
at. Yeah, because you have to drive to these random houses and yeah, it's always last minute and it's just like a weird party culture there. I don't know. It's a mission to try to go to a party. But yeah, since my roommate was a sorority girl, she always knew where the parties were and the open parties because they have to be open. If they're not open, it's only for sorority and frat people.
Mhm.
And we went to a party. I think it wasn't even my like first time being drunk, but it was my first time being that drunk. It's my first and only time that I'd ever blacked out because I think
Oh, that's really bad.
yeah, people like to act like you don't know what you're doing when you're drunk. You know what you're doing. You know what you're saying. You
Uh-huh.
know what you're doing. But when you're
Uh-huh.
blackout drunk, that's like when your brain is like struggling to
Uh-huh.
survive. And we went to this party. My friend gave me a shirt to wear because I didn't have anything Disney themed. We went to the party and it was a Jewish frat, which Jewish frats are known for getting people like super drunk. And I had jungle juice for the first time. And I like sweet drinks. If I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
drink alcohol, I don't want like I can't every time I watch a movie where some like old white guy has a glass of whiskey with a little ice cube and he's sipping on that,
Yeah, that's so
disgusting.
hard to
He
drink.
hates his
Yeah.
life. Oh my God, depressing.
Uh-huh.
Because if he had a little like mimosa or like a little pina colada, you're like, that guy
Uh-huh.
loves life. He is so
Uh-huh.
happy to be here. But when he has a little whiskey, And so I
It's
had
an acquired taste. You'll get
no
used to it. You'll get
acquired
used to it. You
taste
drink
of
it
death,
long enough.
of sadness for life. That's like someone who's like, they're not happy. They need a little fruity drink in their life to be very happy. And so I had jungle juice for the first time. And it was good. It's just fruit punch basically. But I didn't process how much alcohol I was possibly drinking because I can't taste it. So I had 4 cups of jungle juice. And then, have I told this story before?
I don't think so. Are
Okay.
you
Well,
talking about four of those red Dixie cups?
yeah. 4 Dixie
Okay.
cups
That's a
of jungle
lot.
juice. I'm on my fifth one.
Oh man.
And
You're just guzzling it, are you? What?
dude, it was
What
good. It
happened?
tastes like fruit
What
punch.
happened to your be patient, take your time
I was stupid at
advice?
that point. Okay. This is alleged. I was allegedly 17. Because when I went into, I'm the youngest in my age group, so I was 17 when I graduated high school and went into college at 17. I turned 18 in the December of that year. So, anyways, allegedly, if the police are watching or if Kevin's children are watching, don't ever drink before the age of 21. Okay, back to the story. So, anyways, I was 17 years old. I was stupid. And yeah, I was on my fifth cup. I remember this part like so clearly. If I was one of those people who are good at drawing, I could draw you that night because I remember I was standing by the DJ. I remember I looked at him and I put my cup down right next to his stand and I was
Oh
like, I'm not
no, that's a
okay.
no-no.
I, it's fine. There was a lot of drinks actually by him. He didn't care, but it wasn't like
Really?
it's not like it could fall on his thing. Like it was
Okay.
near him, but it wasn't, I didn't put it like on his little board, you know? And
On
then
the
I
actual
put it
vinyl.
down and I was like, I need to go get water. Went to go get water. I can't even tell you how quickly my life declined because it was just black. There's a video on my phone which I could find from years ago where I
Of
was
yourself
dancing.
blacking out?
I was dancing with someone who is dressed as a shark,
Uh-huh.
and I have a video
Of you
where
dancing with
I'm
the
like with
shark.
them screaming, "Shark attack! Shark attack!"
You don't remember any of that.
I remember a little bit, but it was scary because it's like it would go black and then I'd be like alive again, like back where I am, and then it'd go black again, and then alive again, and like I've teleported and I'm outside. It's the
But
weirdest thing ever
but when
when
it
it
goes
happens.
black, are you falling down and blacking out,
I
laying
don't
down, and then you
no,
wake
I
up?
don't think
Kind of
so.
like a narcoleptic person, or
I don't know. No, I was definitely walking around because I'm telling you, it was like I would like teleport. You know, I'd be inside, like asking a frat bro for water, And then it's
Uh-huh.
like, boom, I'm teleported and I'm outside and I'm like holding on. I was holding on to this fence that was in
You're
like,
holding on to a
and then these
fence.
two girls, bless their soul, they were so sweet. They came to me and they're like, "Are you okay?" Because I'm freaking hanging onto the fence. And I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Okay, we'll go get you some water." They went to get me water. I throw up. And then
Oh,
these
like you just
people,
vomit right on the ground in the
yeah,
house?
no, I was outside. How am I hanging
Okay,
onto the fence
okay,
inside,
all
Kevin?
right,
Riddle me
okay,
that.
all right. I don't know. You follow the girl to get your
You think I'm
water.
hanging out the window, like making sure my fingertips touch the fence? And then I remember there was people outside like playing beer pong and they saw me
Uh-huh.
throwing up and they're like, "Oh." So then I flipped them off because I'm like not okay. I'm hanging onto a thread. And then yeah, I just like threw up. And then my roommate found me. And because we had been split up for some time. And then because she knows some of these people, like she knows some of these frat guys, she knows some of these like people that are at the party. So I don't even remember why we got split up. And obviously I'm dancing with Shark Attack. So I don't even know.
Dude,
But she, I guess, had been looking for me and I hadn't seen her either. But I guess I was also on my own little mission of like drinking five
wilding out.
freaking cup. Yeah, I guess so. And then she found me and she's like, "Oh my God." She's like, "Let me go get you water." And then I'm standing there with her friend and he's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Nope, BRB, go throw up again." People are still
Oh.
like, "Ugh." And I'm just like, "Oh my God." This is horrible. And then
Are you not vomiting like discreetly?
how, sorry? Oh,
I don't
excuse me. Let me
know.
be demure. Let me
Are
go.
you,
Excuse me. I need to go throw up. I'll be back.
I don't know,
Yes.
like go to a shrub and kind of disappear
It's
behind
a
it. And
party. There's people
you're just
every.
standing up
You're
there and
expecting a lot from me. I'm
I'm
like hanging on to my life, Kevin. I'm
I'm
barely
picturing you like the
alive.
Exorcist, like that girl in the Exorcist, just standing in
Like
it,
in a back bend.
shooting it out five
No.
feet away, and yeah, doing a
No.
handstand as well, and
A handstand, like walking up the stairs to go to the restroom.
or while you're yakking it out, you're like spinning as well, like little
My
fountain.
head's
Like,
in a circle. Ew. No.
and maybe that's why people are saying, "Oh, like
No, I would say I was mildly demure. Like sorry that I wasn't with a tissue and a bib and freaking
yeah,"
preparing myself. I was
or
not
back into a
alive.
cup, into a little Dixie cup or
Ew.
something.
Oh, that's
Put it back on the table
stop. You're
of drinks.
disgusting. You always make the
Someone else
nastiest
grabs it.
comments. Stop, stop, stop,
This
stop,
smells like
stop, stop.
vomit. Let me taste it. Oh, it
No,
is
why do you
vomit.
always
Oh,
ugh,
I got to throw in a
nasty, dude?
tasting incident every single
Yeah,
episode.
you're
Yeah. Is it
sick.
vomit? Let me taste it. Oh, it's
Disgusting.
definitely someone's vomit.
You're so gross, dude.
Disgusting.
Anyways, yeah.
So,
So
did it
my
look like
bad,
Jungle Punch when
y'all.
you vomit? Did
Stop it.
you eat?
Stop this.
Was it
Stop
like
it.
chunky? Was
You're
it like your
gross.
dinner?
Kevin, stop.
Because this is important, right? Because
Gross. No, it's not.
this will give a little
I think
more
it was just because
clarity.
there was people around. I don't know. You're like,
Okay.
I wasn't. Also, though, there's people who are worse than me at parties, I'll say, because there were times where you're like, someone had thrown up on the table where like the alcohol was.
Oh,
So
oh,
I
that's
think I
bad.
was
Yeah.
fairly mindful when I was not throwing up where people
Over
are.
all the cups of
I was
stacked
like, it
cups
was
and
on the floor, easy cleanup. At least I wasn't doing it somewhere where someone actually has to deal with it.
wait, but people
Anyways,
still had to walk where they were walking around in the backyard.
no, I mean, I did it like next to a tree, so it's not like
Oh,
people
you
have to
did.
step there. Yeah.
There weren't
Would you
like
think I was, you genuinely thought I
six
was there?
Ray puddles in the backyard that
No,
people
I
were
kept
stepping
it
around and
in one spot. Thank you very much. It honestly wasn't even that
so
much
you go
either
back to the same
because
spot that you were
I don't
just
even
at.
think I had eaten either before we went to the party.
Okay. So just
Um,
jungle punch coming out.
yeah, it was mostly just liquid. It was liquid to answer your
Okay.
disgusting question from earlier. It was liquid. Um, but yeah, and then my roommate came out and she had called an Uber, and I genuinely couldn't tell you how much time had gone by at this point that I was like, all of these things had happened because I
Oh,
felt like
is
the
it?
Uber got there fast. I felt like things were starting to go fast at this point.
Wouldn't
So
you be
then,
worried about vomiting in the Uber and paying that cleanup
so
vomit
then
fee? Okay.
we
Oh
go
no,
to
we're
the
getting there.
Uber. I don't know if Uber still does this because I think Uber does still do like Uber share because when
Uh-huh.
I use Ubers now as an adult, I usually don't do share ever. Like I just want to get there, get out, where when I'm doing an Uber. But when you're in college, you're trying to save money. You're doing the most
Uh-huh.
cost effective, cheapest option. And so we shared an Uber. This was so illegal though, because there was four of us in the back seat. I remember it was me and my roommate, and then was it two other girls in the back with us or just one? You know what? I'm unreliable narrator at this point because I was just gone. I eyes were black. I wake up again. We're in the Uber.
Mm-hmm.
My roommate had a bag that she's holding to my face, but she didn't open it. So it was just like
She was
squished
just
up
holding
against my face.
she was trying
And
to kill
then
you. She was trying to put you out of your misery. You're like, kill me now, kill me now. She's like, that's what I'm trying to do. Stop moving your nostrils out of the bag. Let me
I'm gonna kill you. You threw up at that party in a non-cutesy way.
you, you got
Um,
in the way of me and my potential romantic pursuit. Vomited on
and
him.
I've okay, to my memory, there was two more girls in the back with us. But maybe there wasn't. Maybe it was three of us. But I want to say I remember thinking like this is not allowed. But my roommate, I started throwing up again on myself.
Uh-oh.
And
Wait,
obviously
in the
because
Uber.
yes, in the Uber and
And
because
wouldn't
the
the Uber
bag
driver be saying something like, dude, don't get over my car?
I really couldn't tell you because I was hanging on to my life and my roommate suffocating me. No, but she was honestly really nice about the whole thing. But she took off her shirt in the Uber and
What to
used it to like clean me up and to make sure that nothing got on the seats.
Oh man,
And then
that's a friend.
eyesight's black again. Eyesight's back again. We are no longer in the Uber. We're walking up the stairs. We lived in ERC. I think it's still called ERC
Uh-huh.
in
It is.
um at UCSD, but the college
Uh-huh.
that's closest to Remac. And yeah, she's walking me up the stairs.
So you were
And
all like suite mates or roommates.
no, we were roommates. Yeah, we had the same
Okay.
room. And then we're walking up, opens the door, and then I remember my friend who had lent me the shirt. I'm like
Uh-huh.
yelling out for her
Uh-huh.
because I felt so bad about throwing up on her shirt. So I'm yelling out for her, yelling out. I'm like, Raj, Raj, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Raj. I'm like, someone find Raj. And she comes out and she's like, it's okay. And she was so nice about it. She was like, it's okay, dude. I'm just glad you're alive. And then eyes are black again. Eyes are open again. I'm at the toilet. I'm throwing up. I'm yelling out for Raj. I'm like, Raj, I'm so sorry.
Can
And
you
then I
hold my
go,
hair?
and then black again, alive again, because I'm now in the shower and my roommate had thrown me in just as I
Uh-huh.
am so that I can be hosed off. And
Like
then
all clothing still on?
yeah, and then obviously
Okay, so
it
you can
took
hold
like
your
I started to come back to life when
uh-huh.
the water's like splashing me because I'm in the shower. And then
And you like to be waterboarded too, right?
I
Remember
don't
you
okay,
saying that?
whoa. I
You
don't
you
like to
say
be
that you like to try that all the
I think
time.
no. I don't hold
I
up.
thought
I
I
never no,
No,
stop
oh,
it.
okay.
No,
This is
no.
coming to things that you would be good at. You
No.
would be
No,
good at
no, no,
being
no.
waterboarded.
Things
I
that
remember
I
you
think
saying that.
dude, you're twisting this like crazy. Things that I said I think I would be good at with
Uh-huh.
having no previous experience with. But you can be good at anything. And then as long as you don't have to prove it, you're amazing. Like I could say right now, like,
Okay.
dude, I would be such a good skateboarder. I would be such a good snowboarder. But because I
Uh-huh.
don't have to prove it, there's no proof that I would be good at
Okay.
it. I could
All
probably
right.
suck. Anyways, yeah. So then that was that. And then I took a real shower. I got out. They had me sleep in my roommate's bed because it was on the bottom bunk and I slept on the I my bed was top bunk. Woke up the next day at like 6 a.m.
Uh-huh.
and because I had already taken calculus in high school, I knew like I was able to do my homework for the next few weeks. So I just got up, I did my homework for the next few weeks, and then that was it. That was my worst time ever being drunk. Oh, and I almost
Are
left my
you
phone at the party. I forgot to say that when I was throwing up, I dropped my phone.
uh-huh.
And then my roommate had been grabbing me to get into the Uber, and I remember like grabbing my phone like because I almost didn't grab it in time, and she had been pulling me.
Oh,
But
dude, I've lost my phone 2 times, and I got them back 2 times when I thought it was no hope that I would get back
really,
my phone. So I lost my phone one time on a bus, a city bus, and I can't remember what
dude,
happened, but
nowadays you will never get your phone
I know
back for
this is
sure.
like back in the year 2007, I think, and I think the guy called someone's number on my old phone, which didn't even have a lock on it. It was one of those like
Yeah,
flip phones.
yeah, yeah.
And he left a message telling that person to let me know that he put the phone, he gave it to the lost and found department at the bus station. And then
Mm,
I went over there and got my phone back. And the other time I lost my phone, we were at a concert. I can't remember which concert. It was a big one. It was at UCSD. It was one of the giant concerts. I can't remember who was, I think it was Exhibit, the rapper, the huge concert. And there was a giant mosh pit. And I was pushed into the mosh pit. So I partook in the mosh pit activities, right?
like what? You push people, punch
Just
them?
running around in circles, right? And,
Oh, really? You guys don't get push people and punch
I
them and
think,
stuff?
yeah, you do that, but you just run around in circles. And the cool thing about mosh pits is that when you fall down, they pick you up immediately, like the people in the mosh pit, which I never knew about that. I thought I was gonna die, but they pick you up immediately, so you just continue with the moshing, whatever that word is, along with drinking your tea and eating your buttered toast in there. That's what you normally do in a mosh pit, last I heard.
Hmm.
But I lost my phone in there, and I was like, "Oh damn, I don't have my phone." And this was like the year 2003 or 2002, I can't remember. And my friend said, "Okay, I'll call your phone." So he calls it, and the guy picks up. He said, "I got your phone. Let's meet up right here in this concert area." And then we just met up with him, gave me my phone back. Crazy,
That's pretty nice.
yeah, very nice. So,
We lost my friend's sandal in a mosh pit at
and
UCSD,
did
actually.
he ever get that back? No, you couldn't call it that
Yes.
sandal.
We were walking and then the mosh pit broke out, but her freaking sandal fell off. She was wearing flip-flops. And then
Uh-huh.
she turns to me and she's like, "My flip-flop." And I look and there's people moshing and her little flip-flops in there. And I was like, so I went and I grabbed it for her, but I got punched in the tooth and I had to check
What?
afterwards, make sure my tooth was still there. I was like, make sure because they punched me hard. Because people in the mosh pits are mean. Well, maybe not in
I
your
don't know
team,
what kind of
but
mosh pit that was, but there was
they
no
like
punching
hit.
going on.
They'll push
No.
each other.
I think that was a legit brawl you got involved in, not a mosh pit. You jumped into a fight and you were like, "Oh, I'm a mosh around," but that was a
No,
legit
I wasn't.
fight.
I was trying
You
to grab
didn't
that
really recognize
sandal.
that. Yeah.
That's my best friend to this day, and I better be her best friend because I went and I got her a little sandal out. Yeah.
But I think the lost cell phone story goes to my big bro. We went snowboarding in Tahoe one time and he lost his phone in the snow and he just gave up on it. But
How do you even find that?
yeah, it was gone. So he just gave up on it. There's no way you can find that phone in the snow. And it was
Go
snowing
back
too. It
with
was
the
like a
metal
blizzard.
detector.
No, no way. Like no way. So we just gave up on it. He got a new phone. But half a year later, he gets a phone call. And it's a dude, and he said, "Oh, hey, I found your phone while I was mountain biking down this slope." And it was summer by then. And so the guy found the phone, he took it home, he charged it up, he found out my bro's contact or his current number, and he calls him and he said, I'll mail you out your phone. And he mails him out the phone. So he got his phone back.
Dang,
That's
that's pretty
crazy, right?
nice.
Yeah,
That's really
yeah.
nice.
So only good stories about lost phones in my case. Yeah.
Nope, never. My phone was taken one time and I never got it back.
Taken? How was it taken?
Stolen at
You were just
school.
using it? Someone just
At
grabbed it from
school.
your hands and ran away?
I
A grab and
genuinely
run?
don't know how they stole it from my gym locker.
You sure you didn't just leave it around and you left it somewhere?
I mean, maybe I did, but yeah, I just remember that day I was stressed. I was like, oh, my parents would be so mad.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no good story there, unfortunately.
Okay. All right. Well, I
What
think
time
that
is it?
covers
How
all
long
of
have
our
we? Yeah.
crazy stories. 12:40 right now.
It's at an hour. Look at us go. Look at us. All right. We're gonna end this episode for today. We will probably be back next week. If any of our friends listening, hello friends. First of all, hi. Are listening, please listen if you have any topics you want us to talk about, because I can only be so creative. And sometimes Kevin, we had this talk in our meeting before this recording today, but sometimes Kevin doesn't work with me. I'm over here grinding. Just kidding. But no, Kevin likes to talk about serious stuff. And I told him that sometimes y'all don't want to listen to that. You want hee-hees and ha-has. But we can talk about serious stuff because, he's equally as part of this podcast as I am. But Mans wants to talk about like death and fears and like trauma. So if you want us to, we can.
Let
But
us know. Leave a comment.
yeah, leave a comment, please, or text us,
Hmm.
or do both. All right.
For
Thank
sure.
you for joining us on today's episode of ADD Attention Deficit Discourse. We will see you next time.
All right. Have a good one. Take care.
Bye bye.